Okay, this is Steve Garland, head wrestling coach at the University of Virginia. I'm going to give my weekly report, a recap of the last week's competition and sort of preview for what we have coming up. Last weekend we took on Cumberland in Iowa. We beat Cumberland pretty handily, and then we took on Iowa, and it was every bit as much of a street fight war as we thought it was going to be. We came out of that match with one kid had staples, another kid had stitches. We had every mark you could imaginable on your body from going through that war, and Coach Brands was quoted as saying in one of his releases that it was definitely a scrap, and it was. It just was very intense from start to finish. Right off the bat, our 25-pounder was losing 4-1 to McDonough, who's a two-time national champion, arguably the best guy in the country in any weight class. Our guy, Matt Schneider, slapped his patented cradle on, rolled through, had McDonough on his back, tied the score up 4-4. He ended up losing that match, but it was close. I haven't broken down that particular part of the film yet, but it'd be interesting to see how close it was. But it was just that kind of set the tone. And then at 33, we broke out our star freshman Georgie DiCamillo. Georgie had about 3 takedowns that he didn't finish, and which happens to a lot of freshmen. Frankly, it was my weakness when I was his age, and we're going to work through that. And we think the match could have been a lot different if he had converted on those. And at 41, Spicak's first time up at 41, he wrestled a stud in Ballweg. 49, we won with Valeni. Valeni was able to win. I believe the score was 9-4, something like that, 9-5. 57, Jed Moore took on the #1 ranked guy in the country, and we thought completely out-wrestled the kid for the first 2 periods. He dominated the pace of the match. He dominated the style of the match. He got St. John hit for stalling. He had a takedown by the edge that we obviously thought he had. It would have completely changed the dynamic of the match. So it was frustrating. It was a frustrating loss because Jed really did everything he was supposed to do there. And 65, same thing. Sulzer, it's 5-4. Nick was tied up 2-2. Got the only takedown of the match at that point with like 10 seconds left in the second period. Takes a bad shot, gets taken down. Third period, he reverses. The kid ties it up. And the kid, by the way, is one of the best guys in the country on top. Nick goes down, reverses him, which is everything we've been working on in the room. He's got the momentum. He cuts him. It's 5-4. He dumps him to take him down. Somehow the kid scrambled out and took us down off our own shot. So it ended up being, he ended up losing, but it was like literally this close. And so we thought we should have had that one. 74, we won by fall. Fauzi beat the guy who took third in the country. Up a weight at 184. He ended up pinning that kid in overtime. It was a great match. And then at 84 is the same thing. It's 1-1. We thought we had a takedown with Doty against the guy ranked 8th in the country. He doesn't get the call. The very next scramble, he ends up loses 3-1. Mike got us back on track. Mike looked awesome and won his match. Not I think 8-4, something in that range, and just So and then at heavyweight, Derek Papp was injured, and so we weren't going to wrestle Gillen against a big monster. Gillen is a 97-pounder that's been wrestling heavyweight for the team. So at that point, when the match was out of reach, we forfeited heavyweight. So we hope to have Derek Papp. We will have Derek Papp as of today back for Virginia Tech next weekend. Good segue there. Virginia Tech coming up. Once again, it's going to be a bloodbath. They got awesome guys at every weight. We feel like we have great guys at every weight. There you go. It's a recipe for a good dual meet. If I know Kevin Dresser, there'll be 3,000 people at least. I'm sure there'll be more, but it'll be a phenomenal crowd. It'll be a great atmosphere for our guys. It's one of the reasons why we tell recruits, look, our schedule's great. We had Iowa, and it was electric in Chattanooga. It was a sold-out crowd there. We're going to have another freaking huge crowd for Tech next week. Then we go right to Vegas. We literally get done with Tech and smack high fives and get on the plane to go to Vegas. So, our schedule's great. That's why we think we're going to be winning at the end of the year. Right now, we may be banged up, and we may be fighting a tough fight, but that's what's going to help us in the end of the year, we hope. So that's where we're at today.